If you are a man or a woman who suffers from type 2 diabetes, then this will be the single most important presentation you ever witness in your life. Turn off your cell phone. Shut down Facebook immediately, because you need to hear this. And 6 minutes is all I need. If you think it'll take years to reverse your diabetes, then let me blow your mind, because there have been documented cases in medical journals of this condition being reversed in only 8 weeks. I hope that got your attention. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get the same results, because outcomes vary depending from person to person. But what I am saying is that I will show you how you can quickly and effectively reverse your type 2 diabetes. And trust me, this is absolutely possible to do, naturally, without the need for prescription medication. But no one in the medical community is talking about it. That's why I'm breaking this code of silence, because I'm sick of the games. I'm sick of the hype, and I'm sick of the BS that we've all been fed. But I'm going to put a stop to it right now. My name is Mark Manning, and this is my story. On the evening of March 9th, I got a phone call that shattered my world. It was my dad calling me in tears, telling me that my beloved grandmother had passed away from type 2 diabetes. And that wasn't the worst part. Shortly after that, I learned that my dad's health was falling apart due to his type 2 diabetes. And my uncle was showing signs of the disease too. This led me to ask myself two painful and frightening questions. How many of my family members would this disease steal away from me? And when would this insidious disease strike me down? I'll finish telling you my story in just a moment, and I'll share with you the amazing breakthrough secret that spared me from diabetes and saved my father and uncle. But first, know this. I've lived and worked in some of the poorest third world countries, and I've seen my share of tragedy, things that give me nightmares to this day. But when it comes to having this disease, the true nightmare is lurking inside of us. If you or anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, know that it can strike you down at any time, without warning, leaving you helpless, crippled by a stroke or some other debilitating illness that you will never recover from. So if you're living with diabetes and don't think it's that big a deal, think again. In fact, if you don't do something about your diabetes right now, the medication you take to treat it could be what puts you in an early grave and devastates your loved ones. If you choose to ignore the secrets I'm about to share with you, it could be your spouse or even your children who have to decide which risky, experimental drug the doctors will inject into you or which body part of yours they'll cut off in the hopes of saving your life. The incredibly effective, all-natural method I'm about to reveal will allow you to reverse your diabetes without you having to shell out more money for expensive drugs, without you needing to follow some crazy, strict diet, and without you having to punish yourself with grueling exercise. No matter your age, your weight, your genetics, and no matter how busy your lifestyle is, I have no doubt it can work for you. In just a moment, I'll share with you how my family members finally took control of their health and discovered the secret all-natural method that reversed their type 2 diabetes and made them look and feel healthy, vibrant, and young again. You see, until my grandma died from this disease, I used to think she was just one of the millions of people who get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and could treat it with prescriptions and injections while living an otherwise normal life. So when she was diagnosed, I really didn't think it was a big deal. Neither did my father when he started showing symptoms. They both just took the medication their doctor recommended and went on with their life. Like 1 in every 10 Americans, they were oblivious to the fact that a silent killer had taken up residence in their body and was waiting for its chance to strike them down. Although it was too late for my grandmother, today my father is more than just a survivor. He's healthier than he's ever been in the past 30 years. Now I want to show you the secret, all-natural method that I discovered, which won't just treat your disease, but can actually reverse it and restore you back to optimal health. And once you do this, you'll make sure that your blood sugar levels stay where they belong. Just a quick warning before we continue. I'll also be sharing some things that may disturb you, because during my journey back to full health, I stumbled across a sinister, unethical side of the medical industry. But I can no longer keep this information to myself, because what most people don't understand about diabetes is that it's a silent but deadly killer. The scariest part about this insidious disease is that it lurks in your veins, slowly but surely poisoning your immune system and waiting for the moment when it will suck your life away once and for all. And that's not even the worst part. As this sinister condition travels through your veins and body, it gradually rots you away from the inside as it damages and destroys everything it touches, weakening your heart, blood vessels, and every single vital internal organ that you need to survive without you even realizing it. And by the time you realize that your diabetes medication isn't enough, it's already too late. Ready for a shocking number? Every year, Big Pharma rakes in over $31 billion from hawking their drugs to people like you and me. What I'm about to reveal to you might potentially threaten their profits, so I must urge you to watch this presentation now while you still can. You see, when you have diabetes, it means your body has become inefficient at converting sugar into energy. And while this may not sound too serious at first, what happens is that every organ in your body starts to become depleted and starved for energy. And when your organs and tissues are deprived of the nutrients they need, they will eventually start to decompose. The membranes in your body wither and atrophy, and you rot to death from the inside. As you probably know by now, doctors might tell you that prescription medications are the answer, but that alone does not address the problem, and instead swaps it for a potentially even more serious threat. Most diabetes medications work by making your body more sensitive to insulin. This might make sense in theory, but if you look closer, there's one small issue. These drugs come with side effects that often result in damage to your arteries and heart. When you take diabetes medication long enough, you're going to directly damage your heart, which is the only organ that can pump blood through your entire body. And when the blood flow to your heart is restricted, you might experience sharp chest pains, irregular heart rhythms, or even suffer a massive, sudden heart attack or crippling stroke that can cause irreversible damage. Or you might just die right there, on the spot. The luckier ones who don't get struck down by heart attacks or strokes usually end up developing coronary and artery disease. And that's not the end of the bad news, because diabetes medications can cause other horrifying side effects and complications. Did you know you're also at risk of developing irreparable damage to your brain? Just one diabetes medication can skyrocket your risk of having a deadly heart condition. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a science teacher here, but basically, the medication you take for diabetes injects sucrose into your bloodstream, and this blocks leptin from crossing over from your bloodstream to your brain. When your brain isn't receiving leptin, it goes into panic mode, because now it suddenly thinks your body must be starving to death. A part of your brain called the hypothalamus gets all mixed up and starts acting erratically, which is very bad, because your hypothalamus is responsible for regulating your body temperature, heart rate, fat burning and storage, and other extremely important functions. When any one of these systems fails, everything else in your body falls apart. And there are also possible deadly side effects when you inject insulin into yourself. When your body has too much insulin, it will eventually cross from your bloodstream into your brain. And this will create toxic proteins that poison your brain cells. In fact, they're the same proteins that are found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. And if that isn't scary enough, clinical studies have proven that diabetes is one of the most common causes of blindness, because it also attacks the lenses of your eyes, causing cataracts and glaucoma. Or it might even cause your eyeballs to fill with blood and rupture. I also discovered another reason why my grandma's overall health had been deteriorating over the years. Did you know that diabetes is the #1 cause of kidney failure? Right now, over 180,000 people in America are suffering from kidney failure due to diabetes. It's because diabetes causes a high level of sugar in your blood, which forces your kidneys to work extra hard. All of this wear and tear on the filters in your kidneys causes them to develop tiny cracks, which allows the protein you need to stay alive to leak out of your body. I bet you didn't know this scary fact when you were prescribed prescription medication by your doctor. The fact is, the drugs you get will only help you manage your condition rather than reverse it. This puts you on the prescription drug hamster wheel that 210 million Americans are now chained to, as they pay through the nose for drugs that will cover up their symptoms without ever fixing the root of their problem. After doing detailed research, it is my opinion that Big Pharma is not in the business of curing diseases and illnesses. They're in the business of selling drugs, and a cured patient would be one less customer, putting money in their pockets next month. And I also believe that doctors are part of the problem too. Let me drop a bombshell on you. Because recent investigations have shown that doctors and Big Pharma have been working together for decades. Last year alone, doctors around the country received more than $6.5 billion worth of kickbacks from Big Pharma. That's when the ugly reality hit me like a baseball bat. If my family's history of type 2 diabetes ever got truly reversed, our doctors would make less free money every month. And on top of that, the armies of pharmaceutical sales reps, whose job is to visit doctors' offices and push them to prescribe you their latest wonder drugs, would all be out of business. Looking back at it now, that harsh discovery was the best thing that happened to me. Because once I stumbled across that inconvenient and ugly truth about the financial alliance between doctors and Big Pharma, our family was forced to look for other options, which led me to uncover an all-natural method that you can use to bring your blood sugar down to normal, healthy levels quickly and effectively, and for some, in less than just 8 weeks, reversing your diabetes so it will no longer be a problem. The best thing is, unlike expensive drugs and prescription medications that only treat the symptoms rather than the root problem, this shockingly simple method works by targeting diabetes at its core. I call it type 2 diabetes reverser, and unlike most prescriptions your doctor might want to shove into your hand, this solution doesn't increase your risk of any bad stuff happening. As far back as 1916, Dr. Elliot P. Joslin, the greatest pioneer ever in the field of diabetes research, shared this method in the Canadian Medical Association Journal. He was so respected that Harvard University named their medical building the Joslin Center for Diabetes after him. His method was derived from clinical trials that showed beyond a shadow of a doubt that it does, in fact, stop diabetes at the source, rather than just covering up the symptoms. In other words, it reverses your diabetes and brings your insulin and blood sugar levels back to a normal, healthy state, meaning you'll radically reduce or even possibly eliminate your need for medications. When you follow the simple steps you'll find inside type 2 diabetes reverser, you don't need to follow a strict diet that might make sense in theory, but is impossible to follow in reality. So don't worry that this method will affect your quality of life at all. But what I'm going to show you today is even better than Dr. Joslin's method, because it's a modern-day version based on recent studies and clinical trials from the United States, England, and Sweden. The best thing about Diabetes 2 Reverser is that it works quickly, safely, and effectively without you needing to take drugs that can cause dizziness, nausea, headaches, impotence, and other awful side effects, without you needing to drag yourself to the gym or follow some miserable exercise routine, without depriving yourself of the foods you enjoy, and without you changing your lifestyle or taking up time you'd rather be spending doing things you enjoy. If you're like the average American who thinks the only way to manage your diabetes is to visit a doctor and get hooked on pills and needles, then think again. And if you think those pills and needles are the answer to living longer, here's another shocker. A study by the British Medical Journal of over 33,000 people found that diabetes medication causes at least a 19% increase in mortality. Could you believe that this means you're actually more likely to die than if you weren't on the medication at all? Do we really need to take drugs that could kill us just to treat our diabetes? It made me think back to our family's visits to doctors over the years. Even if we weren't really sick, they never seemed to want us to go home empty-handed, and they'd write some type of prescription for us. Well, now I know why, and now you know why. The financial relationship between medical professionals and Big Pharma has gotten so out of control that the government passed legislation called the Sunshine Act so that doctors could no longer hide their kickbacks. So if you've been prescribed a drug by your doctor, can you really be certain he did it with your best interest in mind? Remember, Many of these drugs have a laundry list of side effects, and these medications, which not only drain your bank account, but could cost you what's left of your health or even your life. But once you follow the simple steps inside Type 2 Diabetes Reverser, you'll see and feel the effects of your Type 2 diabetes being reversed quickly and effectively. Make no mistake, you can naturally reverse Type 2 diabetes without blindly relying on prescription medication. My dad has done it, and he definitely isn't the only one. There are thousands of people around the globe who have done it too. So right about now, you may be wondering, what makes me such an authority on this? Well, like I said, my name is Mark. I'm just an average fellow from an ordinary family. Yet just a short time ago, the diabetes demon was threatening to wipe out half of my loved ones. It had already taken the life of my grandmother, and it was now threatening to take the lives of my uncle and my father. If we didn't do something fast, it wouldn't just be my one family funeral we would be attending. There would be likely 2 or 3 more to come. Our family had been struggling with the effects of this disease for as far back as I can remember. Every time I went to visit Grandma, the family doctor would arrive and give her the required dose of insulin, which I never thought much about. Her problem wasn't so much the diabetes itself, it was the medications and the side effects. Fatigue, dizzy spells, nausea, and weight gain, no matter how healthy she tried to eat. Anyone would hate living this way, but it was even worse for her, because she knew her condition put a strain on everyone else in the family, both financial and emotional. Because of her condition, constantly leaving her lethargic and exhausted, my grandma had barely anything left to give her family and grandchildren. Every time she wanted to play with her grandkids at the park or go on a trip, we had to worry about whether her body could keep up. And then there were the side effects and complications from her medications, which were haunting every aspect of her life. The medicine was making her even sicker than the disease. She had constant headaches and migraines, or annoying itchy rashes would appear on her body. She couldn't go anywhere without fear, pain, and embarrassment. She was lucky in only one respect, because my uncle was kind enough to find only part-time work and dedicate himself to becoming her primary caretaker. But because he wasn't able to get a high-paying job, my grandma's diabetes was devastating the family financially. We were spending over $1,100 a month on medical expenses, including doctor visits and diabetes medications. My grandma was willing to try anything to stop her diabetes. If a doctor or even some website hinted it would help, she would eat it, drink, or inject it directly into her body. No questions asked. But these so-called treatments were only making her life worse by the day. She hid it as best she could, but we could all see how she was struggling. That's when her depression really set in, and her weight began to balloon out of control, which caused her to develop other health issues, and she didn't even have the will or the energy to fight it anymore. I knew deep down inside she felt useless to my family, and on many occasions even said she might be better off dead. That was until her dark wish finally came true, and I received a phone call on March 9th last year. I picked up a call from my parents. My dad sounded distressed. I could sense that something was wrong, but couldn't quite put my finger on it, until my dad gave me the grave news. Your grandma passed away last night. A tidal wave of emotions came crashing over me. I didn't know what to say. Then after a moment of silence, he continued. Your uncle is also showing signs of type 2 diabetes, and our doctor says I've got it too. And that's when reality hit me like a ton of bricks. This disease might not only just kill my grandmother, it might take the life of my uncle and my dad. For the next few days, I lay awake and couldn't get any rest. I tried to sleep, but kept going in and out of consciousness. I remember waking up, not knowing what day it was. That's when my mother called me and said, since everyone on your father's side of the family has developed this disease, the doctor said you are at a very high risk of getting it also. The worst day of my life was now 1,000 times worse. It was bad enough that the diabetes demon had took away my grandma, was threatening my uncle and father, but now it had set its sights on me. This time, I wasn't scared. I was angry. Our family had been to every doctor and specialist in town. We followed their advice to the letter. We'd taken their pills and shots and every other treatment they could think of, but instead of fixing my grandma, she was dead, lying in a coffin. Both my uncle and my dad were showing signs of this killer disease, and to top it off, it was now coming after me. When I hung up the phone, I knew I had to do something about this. because we blindly relied on the medical advice of doctors for way too long, and the results were disastrous. I got on the internet and plunged into doing research. I went deep down the rabbit hole. I discovered the financial relationship between the medical industry and big pharma, and on an online forum, I learned of a renegade diabetes specialist named Dr. Chad P. Edwards. Dr. Edwards isn't just any ordinary doctor. He served with the Special Forces in Iraq, where he worked as an emergency physician, and is board certified in family medicine by the American Board of Family Medicine. He's also made multiple media appearances on national television. Dr. Edwards is the doctor who other doctors turn to when they need advice. The more I found out about Dr. Edwards, the more I realized the sinister truth behind why 7 out of 10 people in the USA are currently taking prescription medications. It comes down to this. When you go see your doctor about your condition, you'll probably be told that you need to take some sort of medication to manage your low blood sugar for the rest of your life. It was at this stage I also uncovered an inconvenient truth about what doctors aren't telling you. This is what I believe. If you follow their advice without question, you're giving the pharmaceutical giants a license to own you for life. And what's worse is this. Most patients don't even know that most diabetes medications can significantly increase your risk of having a heart attack or stroke. Most damning of all, not one single prescription medicine deals with the main underlying problem: insulin resistance and faulty leptin signaling. These medications only treat the symptoms and were never designed to eliminate the root cause, the broken signal station inside your body, which is supposed to tell your body to keep producing enough insulin. If diabetes medications were never invented, doctors would have been forced to learn how to reverse the disease using natural methods. But instead, they prescribed drugs to try to treat the disease, which makes about as much sense as slapping a bandage on a bullet wound, with the bullet still lodged inside of you, leading to infections and even worse problems. Clinical studies published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that one diabetes medication increased your risk of heart attack by 43% and your risk of cardiovascular death by 64%. That's right, taking these so-called medicines actually increase the chances of you dying. And do you want to know what's even more shocking? These medications aren't actually needed as long as you can fix the broken signal station that is telling your body to stop producing insulin. Resolve this, and you can reverse your diabetes. The deeper I dug, the more disturbing discoveries I made. The average person doesn't know this, but the disgusting reality is that physicians sometimes prescribe medication to patients for profit instead of having the patient's best interest in mind. The reason? It all comes down to one terrible number. Last year alone, Big Pharma paid doctors over $6.5 billion in kickbacks and other forms of compensation. Even more unbelievable is that Big Pharma has direct access to our prescription records, so they know when a doctor isn't meeting his quota. They expect the doctors on their payroll to write X number of prescriptions per month, whether their patients truly need them or not. This all results in doctors who are more worried about meeting quotas and lining their pockets than curing your condition without drugs. After studying Dr. Edwards' reports, along with the findings of other medical experts, I discovered a journal published at Harvard University over 100 years ago that is the basis for Dr. Edwards' entire approach to reversing diabetes. In addition to this, my parents also started to see a dietitian to look for alternative and natural solutions. Eventually, they put together a list of natural ingredients that have been shown to reduce diabetes naturally. You can easily find them all in your local grocery store. With the help of my mother, a simple meal plan was developed for Dad and Uncle, which would include special all-natural ingredients that are proven to manage blood sugar levels and improve leptin signaling. Each day, they would check their blood sugar levels at home, and we were ecstatic to see the readings. This all-natural method was working, but that wasn't all. There was something else I'd discovered about diabetes that still had us worried. There are many examples of diabetics who seem to reverse their condition, only to have it return in an even more alarming way a few months or years later. Because as you know, there are hormonal changes that happen in our bodies as we get older, and it usually results in us putting on extra pounds. My parents definitely were not as fit as they once were, and we knew we couldn't ignore it anymore. So I pored over more studies and academic journals, and I made one more startling discovery. Increasing your metabolic efficiency is the other key to reversing your type 2 diabetes. I narrowed my research down to a few simple tricks to speed up our metabolisms, which don't require any crazy diets or exercising until you pass out. And this was further incorporated into their daily routine as well. Within a few short weeks, my dad not only brought his blood sugar levels back under control, he'd lost nearly 25 pounds. My uncle had lost nearly 20 pounds. And they were waking up every day feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and bursting with energy. The results were so good, my dad was actually looking forward to seeing the doctor at the end of the month. And when he passed that checkup with flying colors, the doctor was flat out shocked at how quickly the condition had been reversed. That's when we knew for sure that my dad was finally free from his diabetes. And best of all, he wouldn't be dying anytime soon from this insidious disease that took his mother's life. When I discovered this, I was suddenly overcome with an incredible feeling of happiness and relief, and I felt absolutely over the moon when my uncle also confirmed he was no longer showing any signs of type 2 diabetes either. So I too started to follow the principles of this method, and I'm glad to say till this very day I have yet to experience any signs of this disease. With results like that, it didn't take long for word to spread beyond our family. And this didn't just happen to our family. Stories about amazing and natural type 2 diabetes reversals were going viral, and various news outlets were also reporting on this amazing phenomenon. It was amazing. Men and women of all ages, from all around the world, from every different background, religion, race, and ethnicity, were beating this disease without drugs and medication. That's when I knew it was 100% possible to reverse type 2 diabetes naturally. So I decided I would take everything that I'd learned, discovered, and proven and put it all into this simple, step-by-step, easy-to-follow course, Diabetes 2 Reverser. And you can have it in just a moment. But for the sake of honesty and transparency, I want to let you know what's inside Diabetes 2 Reverser so you can make an informed decision. You'll discover the outrageous truth about Big Pharma and its financial relationship with the medical industry, the real root cause of diabetes, and why it's linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, and other lethal illnesses, and the quick and easy way to fix it. The shocking findings of a report approved by the New England Journal of Medicine, which exposes Big Pharma's profiteering motivations as being more of a priority than producing drugs that fix the diseases. The simple tricks and techniques I personally discovered and used to make diabetes reversal easier and faster than ever before, so that you don't need to radically change your diet or lifestyle. Simple and delicious meal plans and smoothie recipes that you can whip up in minutes, which contain the ingredients and nutrients that attack diabetes at its core and restore your energy, health, and sense of well-being. And a closely guarded secret for radically improving your blood sugar efficiency by restoring the leptin signaling of your endocrine system. So now, let me ask you a serious question. What kind of value would you place on a simple, all-natural method that can reverse your type 2 diabetes, restore your health and vitality, and give you the freedom to finally walk away from prescription medications? I know some people would gladly pay a fortune, and just think about the time and money you may have already wasted on drugs, medications, and trips to see your doctor, not to mention all the good times and special memories you've missed out on because of this condition. And the drugs you may be taking are sapping your energy. The costs of expensive medication and treatment alone would be more than $1,997 a year easily. But don't worry, I would never in a million years ask you to spend that kind of money. I'm just a regular person like you, who doesn't have a lot of money to spend. And I know you have bills to pay too. I also know what you're going through right now because I've been there myself. So I'm not going to ask you to pay $1,997. It won't be $197. It won't even be $97. Your only investment today to gain instant access to Diabetes 2 Reverser is a refundable one-time deposit for the amount you see below. This is a digital course, which means we're not shipping anything to you in the mail. You'll get instant access to it just seconds from now. All you need to do is fill out the quick checkout form on the next page, And then you can view all of the materials on your computer, phone, or tablet screen. I'd love to give you access to this one-of-a-kind course for free, but please understand that keeping this website online and providing for my customers costs me a pretty big chunk of change every month. We do have a friendly customer support team on hand to help you 24 hours a day, and in the unlikely event that you're not thrilled with the results you get from Diabetes 2 Reverser, your deposit is 100% refundable. You can email us and get every penny back at any time over the next 60 days. I recommend that you access the course right now, swipe the secrets, try it for yourself, and then decide whether you want your refundable deposit back. You've got a full 60 days to do so. I've removed all the risk from you and put it on my own shoulders, because if you do wish to have your deposit returned to you in full, all you need to do is send us an email. You'll see how to contact our friendly customer support team once you complete your checkout and get access to the course. But I will say that so far we haven't received many of these requests. So just to put you totally at ease and make this a no-brainer, here's our ironclad 100% money-back guarantee. If Diabetes 2 Reverser doesn't reverse your type 2 diabetes and leave you feeling fitter, healthier, and more vibrant than you felt in years, then I insist that you email my 24-hour customer support team at any time over the next 60 days and ask to have your deposit returned in full. You'll get it back, every penny, no questions asked. I just wouldn't feel right about keeping your money if Diabetes 2 Reverser doesn't meet your expectations. Heck, I'm 100% confident that it'll exceed your expectations and that you'll be our next success story. See, that's the difference between me and my competitors, who are just in it to make an extra buck off of you. I actually care about your well-being because I experienced firsthand how diabetes can destroy your life unless you take action today. That's why I want you to remember, you have an entire 2 months or a full 60 days to ask for your refundable deposit to be returned. Now, since you've watched this far, I know you're serious about giving this a try, so let me sweeten the deal by giving you the following fast action bonuses when you try Diabetes 2 Reverser today. Fast action bonus number 1, the Hypertension No More Special Report. This special guide is an absolute must to stop high blood pressure in its tracks before it stops you. In this report, which is only for folks who try out Diabetes 2 Reverser today, we share health secrets that will allow you to break the chains that bind over 70 million Americans. You don't need to swallow pills for the rest of your life to bring your blood pressure under control and keep it where it belongs. Fast action bonus number 2, the Fat Burning Switch Special Report. Once again, this is only for people who make the right decision now and try Diabetes 2 Reverser. This report uncovers how to activate the fat-burning secret that is inside of you right now, so that you can easily and naturally burn off your unwanted flab and extra pounds. Imagine shrinking your waistline and getting the body you've always wanted without crazy diets, scary pills, extreme workouts, or risky surgery. Now you can melt away the pounds and look and feel 10, 20, or even 30 years younger. And then there's fast action bonus number 3, the Body Age Reverser Special Report. This handy guide is an absolute must for slowing down and reversing the effects of aging. Inside, we share little-known health secrets that will allow you to extend your lifespan and reverse your body age back to its prime. Once again, all naturally. So real quick, let me remind you of the bonuses you're going to receive for free when you click the Add to Cart button below. The Hypertension No More Special Report, the Fat Burning Switch Special Report, and the Body Age Reverser Special Report. Remember, those bonuses are on top of the main Diabetes 2 Reverser course, which you can try out right now, totally risk-free. This is the only course out there that reverses your type 2 diabetes without you having to rely on prescription drugs, because it attacks your problem and wipes it out at its core. And in the event you still decide to ask for your deposit to be returned, you'll still get to keep Diabetes 2 Reverser along with all the bonuses. That's the least I can do to thank you for watching this presentation and giving this course a try. Click the Add to Cart button below, and in just seconds, you can fill out your details and get instant access to all of your materials. Your personal information will be kept completely confidential because our checkout page is encrypted with the latest 256-bit encryption technology. And to further protect your privacy, nothing about Diabetes 2 Reverser will appear on your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from ClickBank, which is the secure online retailer which offers this product. But you do need to act now, because the price very well might change tomorrow. This means that if you do exit this page, this same offer might not be available tomorrow. So grab your chance and start today. Experience the true freedom that comes with optimal health and never have to worry again about diabetes-related illnesses. You'll never be a slave to prescription drugs. You'll never suffer those nasty side effects. And you'll never have to miss out on another opportunity to enjoy life with your loved ones. I know you want this. I know your loved ones would want this for you. So let me help you, like I've already helped thousands of other people in your very situation. All you need to do is click the big yellow button below that says Add to Cart. Remember, if you ever have a question, or if you wish to request your deposit back at any time over the next 60 days, we'll see your message instantly and can respond fast. Now, I do need to make one other thing clear. If you are currently taking medications to treat your diabetic disease, please do not suddenly stop taking them. It would be irresponsible for me to suggest that you do so, and potentially harmful to you. What I am saying is that by using Diabetes 2 Reverser and following the steps, you can get off of your prescription medications in a reasonably short period of time. You need to understand, there are some conditions out there where the only cure is through drugs, but it has been medically proven that diabetes is not one of those conditions where the only solution is through prescription drugs, which means we can tackle this together. All you need to do is click the big yellow button that says Add to Cart. Right now, you've basically got three options. Option 1, you can leave this page and continue to live your life as usual. But let's face it, none of us are getting any younger. If you have problems with your blood sugar levels now, it's likely to only get worse. And in the meantime, the diabetes devil is already alive and growing inside of you, wreaking havoc on your arteries, blood vessels, and overall health in ways that you aren't even aware of and might never be aware of until it's too late. Even if you only have pre-diabetes, you're already on the path to premature and preventable death from a whole host of scary diseases. Then there's option 2. You can use the knowledge you've gained from this presentation to wing it and try to figure this out on your own. But I'll be honest, unless you know the exact secrets that I'm going to show you inside Diabetes 2 Reverser, no amount of trial and error is going to fix the real underlying issue. And why would you even want to experiment and possibly make your problem even worse when Diabetes 2 Reverser removes all of the guesswork and hands you the solution? Then you have option 3. You can try out Diabetes 2 Reverser right now and handle this problem once and for all, knowing that you're risking absolutely nothing. Right now, you can get complete access to Diabetes 2 Reverser, and all you need to do is put down a small, fully refundable deposit, which you can get back at any time over the next 60 days. You have a full 60 days to try out Diabetes 2 Reverser, swipe all of the secrets, and decide for yourself whether this is one of the best investments you've ever made in your health and happiness. I'm confident that it will be, so just click the Add to Cart button below to get started. The value of this course is worth many times the amount of your refundable deposit, and that doesn't even take into account the vast sums you'll save by not having to pay for trips to the doctor, prescription medications, or hospital stays, which is why you and I can agree that I could easily be charging 10 times as much. So take action now and get instant access to Diabetes 2 Reverser at the lowest possible price while you still can. Just click the Add to Cart button below. Remember, you get to try out Diabetes 2 Reverser and learn all of the secrets for an entire 60 days, absolutely risk-free. If you've watched this far, you must be convinced of 2 things. 1, you cannot afford to wait another day to handle your diabetes and fix it once and for all. And why would you want to wait when the solution is waiting for you on the next page? And it's simple, safe, and all natural. 2, Because this offer is 100% risk-free, it simply wouldn't make sense to pass up this opportunity or tell yourself maybe later. The next time you try to visit this website, the same offer may not be available, or the price for this course may have doubled or even tripled. Now is the time to reclaim your health and vitality. Once you enter your best email address in the box below and click the Add to Cart button, you'll be taken instantly to our secure checkout page, which is 100% safe and secure. All of your details will be kept completely confidential. Once you click the Add to Cart button, you'll be taken instantly to our secure checkout page, which is 100% safe and secure. All of your details will be kept completely confidential. Nothing about Diabetes 2 Reverser will appear up on your credit card or bank statement. The only thing that will show up will be a charge from ClickBank, which is our trusted and 100% secure online retailer. Then, once you complete your checkout, the complete Diabetes 2 Reverser course and all of the bonuses will be on your screen for you to view in a matter of seconds. There's no sense in waiting another moment. Now is the time to take charge and win back your health, happiness, and freedom. Now is the time to reverse your diabetes so that the only people who lose out are the people that didn't take up this once-in-a-lifetime offer presented to you right now. Just click the big yellow button that says Add to Cart, and I'll see you inside our members area so we can get started right away. Hey, you're still here? Maybe you still have some questions and want to know more. So let me address some of the most frequently asked questions we receive. Question: does this program work for both men and women? Answer: yes. Diabetes 2 Reverser is based on sound medical principles that work for men and women of all ages. Once you dive into the course, you'll see exactly what I mean, and I know you'll be very happy you did so. Question: what sort of dieting is required? Answer: Diabetes 2 Reverser requires very little in the way of dieting. We are definitely against the idea of starvation diets. You'll be provided with delicious and easy-to-use recipes with cheap and convenient ingredients anyone can pick up at their local supermarket to make the meals that will be designed to effectively reverse your condition. This is why Diabetes 2 Reverser is not about swearing off the delicious foods that you love. Actually, you're going to be shocked at the tasty foods that we encourage you to eat, in large portions too. Question: maybe I'm too old for this. I'm in my late 60s and retired. Will Diabetes 2 Reverser still get me these same results? Answer: the only age restriction with Diabetes 2 Reverser is that it works best for people over the age of 40. So age is not a problem here. This will work for you. So let's get started. I'll see you inside our private members area. Just click the Add to Cart button below. And just a moment from now, I'll see you inside our private members area. Question: how long until I start seeing results? Answer: well, it does vary from person to person. Your body is unique and may take a little longer to recover from the damage of years of diabetes. That is why you have a full 60 days to see results. So you have plenty of time to see great results and get your money back if you are anything less than 100% satisfied. Question: what if it doesn't work for me? Answer: Diabetes 2 Reverser is designed to work for anyone with this condition. But I know some people may have other medical conditions that make their situation a bit different. This is why you have a full 60 days to ask for us to return your small deposit to you. If it doesn't work for you, then I don't want your money. I want to heal you, and nothing less will satisfy me. Remember, I'm not looking to make a quick buck here. That's why we stand by our ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If Diabetes 2 Reverser doesn't work for you, or if you're less than satisfied for any reason, just send an email to our friendly customer support team. Let them return your deposit, and we'll part as friends. You can even keep the course and all of the bonus reports, just in case you want to give it another try down the road. That's how serious I am about helping you. I hope that I've answered all of your questions. I wish you all the best, regardless of the decision you make. But I trust you now know what you need to do next for your health and happiness. And just a moment from now, I'll see you inside our private members area. Just click the Add to Cart button below. And just a moment from now, I'll see you inside our private members area.